Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear student, welcome once again. As you know, we are going through a very interesting discussion about the organization of federal, provincial and district governments in Pakistan. Being a public administration student, you will have to be well aware of all those mechanisms that exist in Pakistan. There are minor changes over time, but the main criteria remain the same. As you know, in Pakistan there is parliamentary form of government, and in previous lecture we talked about that how the parliament is formed, and it has two houses. One is called the upper house, that is also called the Senate, and the other is lower house, that is called the National Assembly. The constitutional head of the state is president, while the executive head is prime minister. The president is elected through the indirect vote, while the prime minister, he should have the member of the National Assembly, and then he is being elected from the members of the National Assembly. So we talked about the Senate. The Senate has the institution that has the importance that it gives equal opportunity, equal representation to all the provinces. In National Assembly the situation is different. For example, the provinces which has the highest number of people, for example the Punjab, that is the most populous province of Pakistan, it has more seats. It means in the National Assembly it has a majority representation. On the other hand, although the Balochistan has the largest the territory, yet it has a very small number of seats as compared to Punjab, relatively speaking, in the National Assembly. But the Senate is the institution that is formed to give equal representation, and it is, you can say, a well way to solve the grievances of the provinces. So in Senate there are total 104 members, and they are the technocrats, the general seat, the women and whatsoever, and the total is 104. And if we divide it on the 4 provinces, you will come to know that each province has total number of seats 26 in the Senate. The head of the Senate, that is called the chairman of Senate, and each member of the Senate is elected for the 6 years, and every 3 years half of the members of the Senate become retired, and for the next 3 years a 50% majority comes new from this and that. How these members are framed? These are elected. These are elected on the basis of more representation in the national, in the provincial assemblies. A party that has more seats in the provincial assembly, it has the possibility is that it has more members in the Senate. And if you see in Punjab, for example, there are 371 provincial seats. So how 26 members should be elected by these 371? So almost the ratio goes very high, and almost 15 to 16 members, just roughly speaking, they are necessary to elect one member in the Senate, while in Balochistan the situation is totally different. 2 or 3 members are sufficient for the election of one member. So this is the criteria of the Senate, and that is the upper house, and you may call it that this is the Iwan-e-Bala. In National Assembly the situation is different. The member is elected through the direct vote of the people from the different constituencies. The total number of seats in the, including the general, the women's and the minorities, the total number of seats is 342 in the National Assembly in Pakistan. It has been increased from 2002. I gave you a comparison in the previous lecture, and it was far less than as compared to the 1997. So the Prime Minister is elected by the members of the National Assembly, and he or she is elected on the basis of the simple majority. If, for example, out of this 342, if Prime Minister have 174 members, he will be elected the President. The more member the Prime Minister has, the more you can say the support of the member a Prime Minister has, the more powerful he has. When to form any of the constitution to amendments, the 2/3 majority of the member is required in the parliament. So it means if a party wants to change a constitutional want to bring a constitutional amendment, it has to show the 2/3 majority. As compared to this, we saw the other part of the other pillar of the state, that is the judiciary. We talked about this at the higher tier. It is the Supreme Court of Pakistan. At provincial level, it is the high courts, and it is at the district levels. We criticize this. It is our right to criticize for the improvement. Positive criticism, because you know that it is very impossible for a person to get justice. Justice is so costly, justice is delayed, and you know the justice delayed is equal to the justice denied. You can see many stories, you listen through the newspapers and you watch through the media, that there are different stories, and there are generations over generations that keep on going through the cases, and the cases are never decided. So it needs some kind of change. Talking about the Supreme Court, there is now you can say the judicial activism after the reinforcement of the Justice Iftikhar Muhammad Chaudhry. Although he took oath under the PCO, but later on he refused to resign against the powerful and the mighty generals, and that was a turning point in the history of judiciary. Although there are critics on both sides, some say that Iftikhar Chaudhry did wonders. We do agree that he performed extraordinarily well, but at the same time there are very grey areas that he should have addressed, but he could not address. Now the Tasaddaq Hussain Jilani has taken over charge as the Chief Justice, and now it is a good routine or good example that now there is the Chief Justice is automatically selected according to the most senior judge becomes the Chief Justice of Pakistan. This may be implemented, it is my personal view, to the army, because this time as Nawaz Sharif appointed the Rahil Sharif as the Chief of Army Staff, the senior most general, that was the Farooq Aslam, he has to resign. It is, although the privilege and the discretion of the Prime Minister, yet in a democracy where through which Pakistan is going through, it needs some mechanism. Over time it could be the possible that the Prime Minister may pick any of the generals, because we have a very bitter history of choosing and pick and choosing, and all the generals that were chosen, and the low rank general, low rank means that the less experienced general as compared to other, they did not prove to be fruitful for the judiciary. The major example is from the Ziaul Haq. Bhutto superseded Ziaul Haq to bring Ziaul Haq almost 3 or 4 generals, and you know what happened with the Bhuttos. Similar happened with the Nawaz Sharif when he brought the Pervez Musharraf. After surpassing 2 or 3 generals, the result were the similar. Now we should hope for the best, and now we will continue our discussion on the federal and the provincial and the district organizations of government in Pakistan. Trends in ministry and divisions, it means that we are making comparison that what is in Pakistan, the number of ministries and the departments and divisions, and in other countries. Just a quick look, because I am sure I showed this slide in the previous lecture. The number of central ministries ranges from 11 to 27 in Latin America. In Pacific, its range is 6 to 16, but in Pakistan 2002, when there was the democracy under the full control of the dictator Musharraf, there were 41 ministries, a big burden on the poor nation, because a minister costs too much to the nation. No doubt he can perform wonders if he wants to serve the nation, but at the same time, a poor nation like Pakistan that has a very, very limited resources, if minister has a huge burden on this, and we should follow some of the world standard, because many of the developing countries should do follow in many of the fields the developed nation, because they have learned by their experience, they have showed progress, so we want to follow some of those. Now this number of these ministries has been decreased up to 23, but we have many other ways to increase the we say that he is advisor, Mushir, the minister for states, and the federal minister are the ministers. So we have different designation to bring more and more people into the government. This is deliberately done, because when a prime minister has not major support in the parliament, he has to go with many of the parties, so all the party demands for their minister. So and the prime minister has to manage this by giving something ministry, or you can say the designation to them. So now first we see that what is the ministry. It is a division or group of division constituted in the ministry. Many divisions, or you can say a single division, can constitute a ministry. The role of the ministry, you can say, now the government is divided into parts, and the highest tier is the ministry. It is formed to conduct the function of the federal government in specific sphere. We will be talking about some of the ministries. So what is the government has to, the federal government, all the other governments do perform their rules and regulation, they implement their policies. So the first highest tier comes, that is the ministry, and it is a you can say the function, it follows the functions of the federal government in a specific sphere. Specific sphere means one ministry cannot be responsible for all the activities. For example, Interior Ministries deals all the rules and regulation or the matters that are related to law and order situation of the country. And if Education Ministry is there, although now this is now the subject of the provinces, yet a few years back, if Education Ministry is concerned with the education curricula, the selection, recruitment, schools, colleges, universities, all this goes under the jurisdiction of the ministry. So one ministry is totally different from the other ministry. The mechanism is the same, but the functions and the objectives are different from one ministry to another ministry. Each ministry is headed by a cabinet minister, political head. The minister, that is, we call that the cabinet. Cabinet is a team of a prime minister that helps him to run the government, to run the routine matter of the government, or to implement the policies. It gives policies, suggestions to the prime minister, and prime minister takes takes them into confidence, listen to them, and then they frame or implement some of the policies. Although if they have to change the constitution, 2/3 majority is, one member is not sufficient for this. This is the minister is the political head of the ministry. For example, we will see Chaudhry Nisar Ali Khan is the political head of the Interior Ministry, and you will see whenever there is any law and order situation break, Chaudhry Nisar immediately comes on the media and try to convince the nation that what was the real situation. You can see many examples. For example, when there was a Sikandar, a person named Sikandar in the Bilu area, then you were listening continuously Nisar Ali Khan on the media, and he was telling the nation that what is the situation. Every machinery, that was the police and the other, were working under the direction of the Chaudhry Nisar Ali Khan. So he is the political head. He is responsible for the maintenance of the law and order situation in the country, and he is directly answerable to the Prime Minister. Prime Minister can change portfolio of any minister at any time without any restriction. It is his total privilege and discretion. He can assign, reshuffle or remove any of the minister from the cabinet. No constitutional restriction is on this. For example, he may change the portfolio of Chaudhry Nisar Ali Khan with the other ministers, or he may say that the Nisar Ali Khan will be no more minister for this. It is the privilege of because he has the right to select his team. The federal minister can be selected from the Senate. So from both houses, Prime Minister can choose any of the member for his team. This was the political side of the ministry. And who is the operational head, or you can say the administrative head? That is the secretary. Federal secretary is the administrator in charge of the ministry. So all the orders given by the Chaudhry Nisar, I am talking about the more famous ministry, that is the Interior Ministry. So all the commands that Nisar Ali Khan wants to implement, these are implemented through the secretary. He is the administrative head of this ministry, and he has to follow to the direction, although he is a civil servant, and he has to follow the rules and regulation prescribed in the constitution, prescribed in the code of conduct, but yet he has to take the direct direction from the interior minister. And at the same time, he has to give briefing on a particular subject to the minister. So the secretaries are very powerful, the most powerful civil servants in their ministry, and they are you can say the eyes of the ministers. So they brief the ministers, and then minister go to the assemblies and answer to the questions of the oppositions or the other members. That was the ministry. Now we will talk about that there are some of the division. This is just the separation of the government system to facilitate the people, or to implement the policies, or to run the rules and regulation, and it is the decentralization. Ministry, divisions, departments, autonomous bodies, semi-autonomous bodies, these are just you can say the organs of the mechanism of running the government. So what is a division? It also performs function like ministry to formulate policies. It also helps the policy makers to formulate the policies, because they are well aware of the ground realities. They deal with the phenomena directly. So these divisions give suggestions, and ultimate privilege lies with the, you can say, the political masters. If they thought that this is the viable, this is the feasible, they may think over it, but still they cannot be forced to just concentrate on this. The division are just for the facilitations or to run the government. It ensures the implementation of the policies. The ministry is also, you can say, the ministry at the higher level. There are the cabinet division, there are other divisions. So you can say it is not rankable in the hierarchy, but you can say the ministry is the highest tier, and the divisions they act like ministry, and the function of both the ministries and division is to implement the policies. through when there is a division, it is headed by some of the person, as the, you can say, the secretary or the other, we will see who head this. It is headed by the Minister of State. That was, if I talk about the secretary, that is the administrative head. And here I am talking about the Minister of State. Minister of State has a comparatively lower designation as compared to the full minister, that is the, you can say, the federal minister. So now I can make comparison between the ministry and the division. Ministry is the higher and the federal minister runs the ministry. And the Minister for State, you will be very, very less aware of a few names about the Minister of State, but you will be well aware of the names of the ministers like Nisar Ali Khan, Pervez Rashid. I will be talking about the federal cabinet just later at some of the stage. So the Minister of State is the political head of this, and its administrative in charge, or you can say the head, is secretary or the additional secretary. Like ministry is headed by operational head, or the administrative head is the secretary. The same situation is in the division. Secretary is the operational or the administrative head. And in some of the division, there are the example that the additional secretary can also head the division. Attached department. The ministry, divisions, and now there are the attached departments. So the running of a country, it is a very, very difficult and gigantic task to implement the plans, to implement rules and regulation, to follow the constitution, to provide justice, to provide law and order, to provide education, health, and to take decision about food and agriculture. So there are many, many responsibilities. So these responsibilities are carried out. At first there is, for example, I would like to give you the example from the cricket team. The Prime Minister is the captain there. Now you can see there are different departments, the bowling department, the batting department, and there is another department, that is the wicket keeping department. So in the bowling department, now there is the further separation. For example, there is a fast battery and there are the spinners, there are all-rounders, and further there is specialization that who will start. If there are 3 fast bowlers in the team, it is not necessary that they should be randomly selected, but what is this? One is special for using the new ball. New ball has some different characteristic as compared to the old ball, or you can say when the ball is you can say the played over many of the overs. So the new ball, a new ball is mostly used that has the more pace, and the person who has the grip on the reverse swing, mostly he likes to bowl with the old ball. So like this, look at this, only function is to play a match, but just playing a match, it is a very, very, you can say, the similar example to the governments. So the captain is the head, and similarly the Prime Minister is the chief executive of the government, and he tries to implement the policies through the ministries, divisions, attached departments and autonomous bodies, as well as the semi-autonomous body. It has a direct relation with the ministry, or you can say these are sub part of the division or the ministries. So it means they carry out the functions of the ministries. A ministry or divisions have many attached departments, like I just exemplified by the bowling. Similarly, the batting, openers, middle order, lower order, and whatsoever. So I am sure that if you are aware, but if you are not aware of the cricket, we can go into the hockey or the football. There are the forwards, there are the defenders, there are the midfielder, right out, left out, just to play a match. Only the objective is to play the match and win the match. So you will see that there are some specialist person. So this is the same situation in the running of the country. It helps ministry in the formulation and execution of the policies. So it is more near to the people. Ministry is at the higher level, divisions attached departments, so it helps the ministries to formulate. As the time changes, as the situation changes, there are demands for change into the rules and regulation of the system, because if we will just keep the status quo, it is not according to the changing requirements of the scenario, and the people do need it, and it should be redefined, restructured, because over time there are, you can say, इस सबात एक तगैर को है ज़माने में. There is no status quo. Everything is changing. The ideologies are the changing. The ideas are the changing. The policies should change. Otherwise, they cannot fulfill the requirements of the people. They are under the control of the ministries. So the divisions, the attached department, they are directly under the control of the ministries. So I can say that the minister is the vice captain. But in cricket team there is only one vice captain. But I can say that in the federal government there are many vice captain, or you can say the player that are the ministers. So the attached department are directly controlled by the ministers. So minister is responsible for his division, his ministry, and the attached department. Subordinate office. Now look at the tier by tier by tiers. Again, I can exemplify many of the things, but I think you know more cricket than me, and you can exemplify this just going into the ComSets. As you are the student of the ComSet, look at there is directors, prorectors, in charge campus, head of the departments, deans, head of the departments, and then there are further the associate heads. After associate head, there are further people, the head of the admission committee, the head of discipline committee. So the only function is to run the university, to make more and more feasible situation for the students, to provide the students more friendly environment. So starting from the rector, it keeps on here. So this is the mechanism. In universities there is the mechanism, but in the federal government and the provincial government there are the secretaries and the civil servant. They perform, and they have their gazetted assigned you can say grades, and according to that they are superior to their juniors. Each attached department has many subordinate offices. For example, if I say in the ComSet, Dean has the subordinate office. It has further many subordinate office. So if the Dean office is the attached department of the university, it has many subordinate office. You can say if Dean of Social Sciences is there, there are many social sciences. There are HOD of the management department, HOD of economics, HOD of X, Y, Z, and many others. They are also called field offices. The more near towards the people, they are called the field office. So it means the policy starts from the upper tier, and I can say from the Prime Minister, and it can now going through the ministry, the divisions, the attached department, and now going towards the subordinate offices. They are called the field offices. Why they are called the field offices? Because now the policies are going to start implemented practically, just step by step, this one. For example, if there is law and situation, I am just giving you the example. IG and the IG will be responsible, IG Inspector General, for this. Now I am talking about the direct. He will be calling to the SP will be calling to the DSP will be giving instruction to the SHO, and even SHO further direct to his ASIs and the many others. So these are the field. Ultimately, the order given by the Inspector General is being implemented now by the police personnel at the lower ranks. ASIs are the simple soldiers. So similar, this is now there is the these subordinate departments or the offices. They are also called field offices. They are under the attached departments. Attached department under the direct control of the ministry, and these attached department are under the control of the these subordinate offices are under the control of the attached department and perform specific duties. जिस तरह मैंने बताया कि there is deans, many other HODs. So now HOD of the economic department has its own criteria. HOD social sciences, computer sciences, and many other, these have their specific criteria. So they can perform according to this. So they are responsible to their immediate bosses that are now the attached department. If I say that the head of the attached department, it is well and good. They are responsible for the execution of all field activities of the attached department. Order is trickling down. Policy is trickling down from ministry, divisions, attached departments, and now you can say the least at the lower ebb there is the tier of the field offices. Now they are responsible for the execution of field activities. For example, they say that they want to implement these policies. Again, it will start from the ministry division, coming towards the attached department, and finally to the offices, the field offices, and they will implement in the field. They will take care of that, what is happening or what is not happening into this. For example, there is a good example of the finance. This is the youth loan, you can say the phenomena. Let's see what results come out of this, but yet we can see that the government is propagating it, and it looks viable and feasible at this stage. We have to see and we have to wait for what are its later. The finance ministry is responsible for this. That ministry will allocate the resources. If there are 100 Arab rupees, so it is the duty of the finance ministry to arrange for this. Now this, how it will be done? It is being done through the banks. So the banks are now the field offices, and the people will be submitting their application to the banks. Ultimately, the decision will be taken at the higher level, returned back to the banks, and all the transaction will be done through the banks. There may be some other tiers between the finance ministry and the banks. However, the banks are the subordinate offices, and they are at the lowest ebb of the system, and they are called the field offices. They are headed by administrator or director. Any subordinate office is either director, we call the head of any of the subordinate office administrator, or we can simply say that this is the director. This is just name. In some of the you can say subordinate office, these are called the director. In the other, they are called the administrator. There is no function are the same, duties are the same, responsibilities are the same. Now there are some of the autonomous and the semi-autonomous bodies. What are the autonomous bodies? Certain ministries or departments have a number of autonomous, semi-autonomous bodies. We will see that what are the criteria for this or that. In the system, there are running some of the autonomous departments. For example, in the education ministries, the universities are the autonomous bodies. They can take their decision, they can generate their resources, they can recruit their employees, and many other. These are included into the criteria of the autonomous body. Let's see that what are these autonomous body. But just to tell you that they are in some of the ministries, there are autonomous as well as the semi-autonomous bodies. They represented the trend of decentralization for arriving at speedy decision. This is again a tier of the mechanism of this. Their working is different from the other. If an autonomous body, semi-autonomous body, or you can say the other kind of body, their function may be the same, but ultimately objective. What is the objective? Very clearly written here that they need speedy decisions. The government wants to be speedy in performing its duties, so the autonomous bodies can help government to to implement their policies. Now the implementation of the policies, as these are the autonomous body, they are not directly, you can say, the given directions. They have their own system, yet they help government to achieve their objective. For example, if the university is the autonomous body, although it is not getting the direct direction from the education ministries, yet it is working in line with the objective of the education ministry that wants to educate the people at the higher level. So all the universities are performing the same thing. So the ministry tries to regulate this or that one to maintain the standards or whatsoever. The main sector under which these bodies are working, there are some autonomous bodies under the finance department, education, as I gave the example of the universities, and the banking. These are the, you can say, the autonomous as well as the semi-autonomous bodies. Hierarchy in the federal ministry. That was a general explanation of the ministries, the divisions, allied departments or attached departments. Then there was, we have just completed that the subordinate office, and we concluded that within that system there are autonomous as well as the semi-autonomous bodies. So hierarchy in the federal ministry, the federal minister is at the head. So would you like to tell me whether he is the political head or he is the administrative or the operational head? No, the federal minister, that is the part of the prime minister team, he is the political head. Why he is the political person are made head? Because it is that the political person, politically representative, have the support from the public, and they are considered to be more wise, more statesmen as compared to the civil servant. So civil servant are expected to just follow up the policies framed by these political masters according to the rules and regulation. It is not necessarily true, particularly in Pakistan, that the minister are more competent than the civil servant, yet it is believed, it is the system, that he is the political head. And we have seen many different stories that the political heads and the minister have been very, very low caliber throughout the history of Pakistan, but at the same time there have been the minister who revolutionized their ministries and performed extremely well in their jurisdiction. We are more interested because the political head is only the one person. Now he transfer his orders or policies to the federal secretaries. In the administrative hierarchy, federal secretary is at the higher level. So can I say that the federal secretary is the real administrative of that ministry? So he is at the highest level. He is now assisted by this. He is assisted by the additional secretary. The federal secretary is assisted by the additional secretary. There may be more than one additional secretary in one of the ministries, but there is only one federal secretary in the ministry, that is at the higher level. There could be more than, after this tier, there is the joint secretary. There could be more than 2, 3 or 4 joint secretaries in any of the ministries. Their duty is to assist the additional secretary and the other, and I will let you know how the file travels and how the decision come back are ultimately finalized. So the joint secretary, there is also one lower ebb, there is the deputy secretary. So the deputy secretary is the second from the lower ebb, and the only purpose is to just assist the secretary or the additional secretary or the joint secretary. There could be many deputy secretary in one of the ministries. Every you can say that every department has its own deputy secretary. Section officer. This is the last designation in the officer rank. There are many people under this, but in the officer rank, when we say that, it starts from the 17 grade. So 17, Look at here, this is the of the 17 grade section officer. There is direct recruitment for the section officer, no direct recruitment for the deputy secretary, joint secretary, additional secretary or the federal secretary. They go through the starting from the section officer, they come from other, you can say, the departments. For example, the federal secretary of interior may be changed, federal secretary of education. So this is the privilege of the government. Transfers are possible for this. So the section officer, if it is the rank of the 17, the deputy secretary has the rank of the grade of 18, this is the 19, this is the 20, and this is the, you can say, the 21. Here you can say the federal secretary is of the 22 grade, that is the highest grade in Pakistan, and he is the federal secretary. So here maybe that it could be the 20 to 21 grade of this and this situation. So here is that it could be 21 or 22. In the administrative wing, I have given you this, how the file starts. Every, from the lowest edge, the case is being put from here section, just assuming that there is normality. The file is put here, it goes to the deputy secretary, joint secretary, additional secretary, and the federal secretary. Federal secretary has the power to take any of the decision under the rules and regulations. So if you look at here, from here now, at least look at the tiers here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And he can discuss his matter with the federal minister. So ये 5 tier हैं. If every file takes 2 days or 1 tier, it takes 10 days to go up, 10 days to go come down. 20 days. Very tedious and cumbersome system. This is the red tapeism, that every file has to go. For example, if to just apply for some of the thing, it will go in this way, and unfortunately, if at the last level, federal secretary makes any of the, you can say, objection, it will not come in this way to the section officer. It will come in this way. Again, touching all the bottom. So by, you can say, making some of the ridiculous remark here that it is the continuous variable, it never skip any of the things for this, but sometimes there are very important matters. This continuous variable may become the non-continuous variable, that the file directly jumps from here to there. When the government wants to do some matters on a quick basis, the situation may change. ट्रांजैक्शन ऑफ ड्यूटीज एट फेडरल लेवल, किसके जिम्मे जो है वो क्या जो है वो काम है? द प्राइम मिनिस्टर. हु इज द प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ पाकिस्तान राइट नाउ? मियां मोहम्मद नवाज शरीफ, द लकी मैन टू बी द थर्ड टाइम प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ पाकिस्तान, but at the same time very lucky that he could not complete his term in the previous 2 terms, and we hope that this time he completes his term. In the first 2 terms, in the first term, he has some tension with the Ghulam Isa Khan, the then president, and at the later stage in 1999, that army chief, General Pervez Musharraf, that is now under the arrest, and he is being being persecuted by under the section of Constitution of Pakistan under its section 6. उस पर जो है वो संगीन गद्दारी का जो है वो मुकदमा है. लेट्स सी व्हाट्स हैपन. सो द प्राइम मिनिस्टर इज व्हाट इज द ड्यूटी ऑफ प्राइम मिनिस्टर इज द टॉप ऑफ फेडरल गवर्नमेंट हायरार्की. तो अगर मैं आपसे ये पूछूं हु इज एट द हायर लेवल, the president or the prime minister, what will be your answer? I can know that your answer will be that the constitutional head is the president, but the real, or you can say the chief executive, the operational head, that is the prime minister. To run the country, it is duty of the prime minister, but all the matters are sanctioned by the president. For example, Nawaz Sharif appointed the chief Chief of Army Staff, it was endorsed by the President. It is just ceremony, and the President now, according to the Constitution, it has no powers. It just can send back the decision to reconsider. It cannot change the situation. But there have been times when our presidents were so powerful. President, starting from the President Ayub Khan, General Zia, Pervez Musharraf, and then he has the responsibility for the transaction of the responsibilities and duties. He has to perform the responsibilities, duties, जो भी government चाहती है. He is the brain. What he wants, he can implement, not just by the words, through the certain mechanism. For example, if Prime Minister thinks that there is need to change the Constitution, he will have to arrange the 2/3 majority to bring some of the amendment to the Constitution, and there have been many amendments in Constitution of Pakistan, and improvement over time. It is good that there are the amendments, because status quo cannot prevail over the time. Prime Ministers are elected by the simple majority, the head of the state, chief executive, but the constitutional head is not the Prime Minister, it is the President. Who is the President of Pakistan? Yes, nowadays I don't know when you will be listening this lecture who will be the President and who will be the Prime Minister and who will be the cabinet members, because in Pakistan anything can happen on any time. But now the democracy is getting roots, and I can guess that when you will be listening this lecture, the Prime Minister will be the Nawaz Sharif and the President will be the Mamnoon Hussain. Federal Minister. If Federal Minister or Minister of State has the responsibility to assist the Prime Minister, ये टीम है उनकी. पहले भी मैं इसकी तफसील आपको बता चुका हूँ. He is the team member of the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister directs his team members to do. For when there is law and order situation, he can ask from Chaudhry Nisar Ali Khan. When there is any communication, or you can say the this नशरियात इतलात और नशरियात के वज़ीर की बात है, then the Pervez Rashid is responsible, and I will let you know what is our federal federal team, or you can say the team of the Prime Minister in the formulation of public policies. Whenever the Prime Minister needs some consultation, he consult his federal cabinet, and they help Prime Minister to reach some policy mechanism. They suggest, and ultimately through Parliament, Prime Minister tries to implement his decision or to change the situation of the Constitution. Secretary. What does a secretary do? Federal Cabinet political head. Any federal minister is the political head, and he is directly responsible to the Prime Minister. Secretary. What does the Secretary? Secretary is at the highest ebb of this operational or the administrative head. तो मैं कह सकता हूँ कि real जो administrator है, real sense में, that is the secretary. एक department का जो secretary है, वो उसका all in all जो है वो होता है. A secretary is the most senior civil servant and administrator head of his ministry or division. He has to follow, he has to be answerable to the minister, and you know, if one is not answerable to the minister, and there are some power, there have been some powerful secretaries that even do not take care of the ministers, because the minister cannot remove the secretary. He is a civil servant. He has come through a certain procedure, and the Constitution gives protection to all the civil servants. The Prime Minister can transfer from one at there, but outrightly it had been done in the history of Pakistan, removed from the service. But now the judiciary is very active, very vigilant, and even you have just listened the case of the PEMRA chairman, that the federal government removed it but the Islamabad High Court cancelled this order. Now there is again a tussle between this and this. In the growing democracies, it happens. It is not a new phenomena. Ultimately, by hit and trial, by learning from doing, by learning through the experiences, the democracy gets growth, and all the institutions over times recognize that what is their jurisdiction. And sometimes in the beginning, sometimes one executive is more powerful. In the throughout history of Pakistan, the executive has been the more powerful, dominant over the judiciary. But nowadays you can say the judiciary is getting or showing its teeth also. He has to assist her minister, he or she. Now I will be using the word he, but at the same time the female could also be the secretary, and you are very famous about the Nargis Sethi in the previous government. She has to assist her minister or Minister for State in policy formulation. Nargis Sethi, I said, she was a very powerful secretary during her era in the PP government that just is replaced by the PMLN. What is his duty? He assists her minister or Minister for State. अगर तो जो है वो division है, then there is the political head is the Minister for the State. If there is the ministry, then the federal minister is the head. The secretary is responsible to assist all the policy and to assist the minister or the Minister of the State. So Minister of the State gets advice from the secretary, and as a vice versa, he can direct to the secretary to carry out what they want. But what they want doesn't mean that they want whether it is according to the rules or regulation. It is not necessarily true. The powerful, or you can say the strong secretaries, they should resist if something is not according to the rules and regulation. He keeps the minister generally informed. आपने ये देखा होगा कि जब भी जो है वो मिनिस्टर पार्लियामेंट में आते हैं, अव्वल तो हमारे मिनिस्टर तैयार होकर नहीं आते, but at the same time it is the duty of the minister to be well aware of about their ministries, because if there is a problem, for example, if Khaja Saad Rafiq come to the parliament or the National Assembly, the people may ask about what is the recent development of the railway, because you see in the era of Ghulam Ahmad Balor, the railway went very at its lowest ebb. So the Khaja Saad Rafiq has trying very hard to uplift this dying or the falling elephant. Very, very big department, very, very big ministry. So he is trying hard. So when he has to go to the assembly, he consults his secretary, so that he gets what is being done, what is being, how much rupees, whatsoever the affairs of the ministry, he gets information from the secretary. So the duty of the secretary is to keep the minister generally informed about the working of the ministry or division. Minister ने जो है वो हुक्म दिया, implement हुआ secretary से, so he is responsible to keep update to the ministers for its regulation. What is the additional secretaries? If you go to this tier, you will see here the federal secretary followed by the additional secretary. So what is the duty of the additional secretary? She is also a senior civil servant, but not senior than the secretary. Secretary is at the highest, now trickle down, or you can say the step by step, then there is the additional secretary. The function of the additional secretary is to assist his secretary, and in some of the cases additional secretary may be given the charge of the secretary. You can find the example around yourself that there are the example, and in the divisions it is a common phenomena that additional secretary has the status of the or the, you can say, the designation, the working or the post of the secretary. He is performing the same duties that perform the secretary, but his designation is additional secretary. She assists the secretary in a ministry. Secretary एक ही है, additional secretary जो है वो उसके जो है वो more than one. So the additional secretary can the duty of the additional secretary is assist the secretary. कैसे? The HOD assists Dean assist in charge campus. In charge campus assist pro-rector. Pro-rector can assist the rector. Sometime works as in charge of the division, the additional secretary. Sometime he works as the in charge of the division and perform the functions like a secretary. His function are like a secretary when he is working as a additional secretary, but he is given the charge of the secretary in the ministry. So I think as the discussion is going further and further, I would like to conclude today's lecture, and I would like to sum up in the reference of this. So what area we have covered today? Can you imagine? Yes, I think you are well aware of this. We are going through the discussion that what is the federal, provincial and the district organization of the Pakistani government or the Pakistan machinery. So as we started from the federal, and we are still going through the federal, we will go through the provincial, we will also touch the district level. But from where we started from the federal government. We said that the federal minister, again I would like to repeat that the president is the constitutional head. Prime Minister is the chief executive, he is the head of the machinery. The president is the ceremonial head or the constitutional, but the prime minister is the head of his party, and he is the chief executive of the country. The president cannot be from any party because he is head of the states. The prime minister can be from any party, but ultimate his objective is not to run only his party, but his objective is to run the whole country. The prime minister needs a team to run the functions of the government. So he selects his teams, and he has divided his functioning into different, you can say, the divisions and the ministries. So these decentralization of the system is called the ministries. If we look at this, there are many ministries in Pakistan. We will be talking about only the powerful ministries. According to the the constitution, there should be not more than, I think, 22 or 23 ministries. What is the real situation? Still it is under the 23, but it can go further because we have many indirect ways. We can keep only 23 ministries, but we can make advisor, mushir, and then the minister for the state for this. So the federal minister is the head of each ministry, but which head? He is the political head of his ministry. So he has to take the control or take care of the affair of his ministry. When he is the political head of this, now he further passes his orders, and who is at the highest level in the civil servant. Now from the political landscape, I am going towards the administrators, that is administrative heads, that is the secretary. So secretary is the highest civil servant in the domain, in the civil service of Pakistan. He is the operational head of his department or the ministry. He is being assisted by the additional secretaries. Additional secretary may be given the charge of the secretary, and additional secretary is in charge or the head of, or the operational or the administrative head of the division. Additional secretary is further assisted by the joint secretaries. Joint secretaries, there could be more than one or two joint secretaries. This is just the decentralization over different time periods, over different layers of the government. Joint secretary is assisted by the assistant secretary. Joint secretary is assisted by the, if you see here, that deputy secretary, and deputy secretary is being assisted by the section officer. So the section officer is the lowest officer in this ranking. He can be promoted, he can reach up to the level of the secretaries. Over here there are certain criteria, rules and regulation. After how many years, how many experience, how much education, this can be this one or that one, and ultimately the secretary is a bit political seat rather than pure merit. So it is similarly like the chief of the army staff. There were many generals, and only the Rahil Sharif was chosen as the chief of the army staff. So what is the duty of the secretary? The secretary is responsible. Secretary briefs the functioning of the affairs of his ministry to the federal minister, and further federal minister gives answer to the many questions raised by the opposition or the assembly members, and he is also answerable to the Prime Minister. All these additional joint deputy secretaries, these assist to their secretaries in the mechanism. I am sure you have got the idea of this or that. In Pakistan, this is the textbook. Keep in mind that this is the textbook procedural of this or that. This too exists in Pakistan in many of the ministries. This mechanism. Not many of the ministries, in all the ministries, this mechanism exists. But why this is not functioning? At later stage we may go for this, that why a secretary is so bound or handcuffed before the minister. Some that time there are tussle between the secretaries and the ministers, and you will see that how over time there is the remove these hurdles to refine the mechanism for the speedy implementation of the policies, rules and regulations through the field departments. And we'll see you in the next lecture. Till that time, take care. Allah Hafiz.